My name is Kirk Dreier. I am a park naturalist and I work for Marshy Point Nature Center for Baltimore County Rec and Parks. I have been flint knapping or working stone since about 1985, and I learned from some real experts. Dr. Eric Callahan, Scott Silsby, Jack Cresson are all people known in the trade anyway. Today we were working with Texas Cretaceous flint, and it gets that name because it was laid down during the Cretaceous period over 200 million years ago. And true flints, like this material we're using, which is really good stuff, is high quality and forms in chalk beds, and that's sort of how you can differentiate between flint or chert or obsidian or jasper and other types of stones that will work. Flint breaks with what's called a conchoidal fracture, and a lot of the flakes that I'm producing during the manufacture of this Fox Creek Spearpoint show a shell-shaped shape to it when you break them. It's just like when we break glass. If glass is broken on the floor and you look at it, you're like, oh my gosh, that's broken glass. We just intrinsically know it by the shards and the shape that it takes when it breaks. And flint's the same way. It'll break with this shell shape or conchoidal fracture. We started with one large nodule of it, and looking at the outside of the material by its thickness and its width, you can see it's covered with a white chalk, and that literally is chalk. I mean, it's mined in Georgetown, Texas, kind of central Texas, and they're after the chalk, and so the flint really is a byproduct that they don't want, and it has to come off. It's what's called the cortex. So I'm going to take a hammerstone just to get into it and create an edge that will allow me to literally just get into the stone. So striking at an angle on the edge, we're going to knock off this piece, and now I can switch over to a large antler baton, which is a moose antler in this particular case. Now that I have this nice fractured section on the edge of this nodule, I can now strike it hard with the baton, and you'll see these very large flakes being removed. And so you hit on the edge and they expand outward, and you can see a ripple edge to them. When I hold these things up, you can see them. And the happy part of it is that even though I'm taking this big nodule apart piece by piece, each one of those flakes, if they have enough thickness to them, will allow me to make many other kinds of tools from them. And early man did that. It doesn't matter if you're Native American, Asian, Caucasian, African American, it doesn't matter. Everywhere people lived on the planet, they were looking for, humans were looking for stone that broke in this predictable fashion. And we manufactured all kinds of things from them. So all those flakes that I'm removing will allow me later on to come back and manufacture small things. I can make knife blades, scrapers, drills, actually. I can make spoke shaves. I can make all kinds of things that are very useful from these tools. It's a cone of fracture that radiates out from the point of impact. When we're doing flint knapping, when I'm removing these large flakes, we can actually look down and see ripples. These actual pretty flake patterns that you see in the Spearpoint when it's finished are a record of this cone of fracture that I am directing into the stone. It's not a haphazard process. It is a measured and thoughtful, dynamic, one stage following the next manufacturing process. Each stage sets the stage for the next stage to happen. And they always have to happen like that, A to B to C, in order to have a finished product. My great uncle, who lived in Essex, Maryland, had a tremendous garden, and over the years near Stemmer's Run, he had unearthed and plowed up many projectile points. So to a kid at that time, I looked at these things and said, how could anyone make a tool of something that's so hard it will scratch glass? So right there was something, some intrinsic fascination I had with living off the land, nature, Indians, Stone Age people. The idea behind these bifaces is, in my opinion, to have beautiful symmetry and beautiful flake manufacture, so that there's actually a certain beauty to these tools. If they look lethal, they probably are. As Dr. Callahan used to teach me, is that the better made something is, and if it looks really good, it probably will work much better than something that's junky. It's just, I think that's just a fact of life. The way the universe works. "99% of our humanity's history on this planet is represented in stone. And the metal and the glass and the electricity and the plastics that we use today represent the tiniest little increment of our existence on this world." So really, stone tools and the way they work have shaped, I think, humans and the way we've evolved.